Regulation, regulation, and more regulation. In the latest news this week, China has yet again introduced more regulation, this time targeting children and limiting their online gameplay for everyone under 18 to just 3 hours. So is it time for us to sell Tencent's holding? Hi guys, Stanley here. I'm the co-founder of valueinvestasia.com, an investment portal where we'll give you investment news and also in-depth analysis on listed company every single week. So if you're new to this channel, remember to hit that subscribe button so you'll not miss out on any of our videos. The Chinese government has been busy re-establishing its control over the private sector this year. They went from catching tech company for anti-monopolistic practices to restructuring the educational sector, and now it seems they're turning their attention back to the gaming sector. Major news outlet reported that the Chinese government will start limiting the online gaming time for everyone under the age of 18 in China. The regulation is that gaming company can only offer online game services to minor on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and public holiday from 8 PM to 9 PM. This is not something new that the government is looking into. There have been control on online gaming since 2019. Even the Chinese President Xi Jinping has pointed out that game addiction in China is a social problem. On getting back more feedback from parents and teachers, the government has now decided to tighten that control even more. It also seems that most of the control will need to be implemented by the gaming companies themselves. For example, the company will require all gamers to use real person identification when signing up on the game. Apart from restricting the game usage for minors, the company would also need to share gaming usage data to the government to help prevent game addiction among the populations. There are a few things we need to think about from this development. According to Tencent's recent announcement, it stated that less than 3% of its paying gaming customers are under 18. So what it really means is that most people who are addicted to games are actually adults. So will the government go one step further and start controlling adults as well? Plus, the regulation is only for online games and not offline games. So will we see a revival of more offline games in China in the future? Let's look at what might be some of the more unexpected consequences coming from this new regulation. I'm not an expert on psychology, but my understanding is that addiction is a symptom of a problem in someone's life and not the problem itself. So adults and kids will get addicted to something because they might be having some issue in their own life. For kids, maybe they are just lonely and their parents are not spending enough time with them. And in China, most kids does not have siblings. So end up, the only avenue for them is to turn to games. So even if this game time is restricted now, will they just find maybe a new addiction? Maybe it might be something similar like watching more videos on Bilibili or Youku, or they will end up being more addicted to social media like TikTok. Or we might even see a boom in the usage of VPN in China for gamers to start connecting to the international Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. Other possibility might be the kids will start spending more time outside of their home with friends, and parents might end up having issue of locating where their kids are. On a more serious note, will the minors start turning to more serious addiction like crimes or drugs? After all, it is not as if kids who are currently addicted to online games will suddenly turn to reading more or studying more just because they no longer can play games using their personal account. And if the parents are already not able to control their kids' game time and need the government to come and step in to help them, how would they be able to control what is coming next? The regulation is set to limit gaming addiction among children and hoping that children in China will grow up in a more balanced and healthy environment. The objective is noble, I think nobody will argue with that. But in life, things never really have a straightforward cause and effect. Most likely an action by one party, say in this case trying to limit gameplay for kids, will create an unexpected consequences from the other party. This is explained in Charlie Munger's famous book, The Poor Charlie Almanac, in how we human often make psychological errors when we try to predict human behaviors. And I think more relevant to the Chinese government is, will this government action cause a generation of children to grow up who previously are just angry with their parents for not spending time with them and turning that anger towards the government for controlling their key outlet of entertainment. Unfortunately for us outside of China, we might never find out the true answer. Investing in China means that we have to understand and accept that only certain information will flow out of China. We get to hear things that the government want us to hear, but we seldom hear on news about incompetency in enforcement or even misjudgment in their policies. So if we want to invest in companies within China, we have to be comfortable with this information disparity and also trust that the company and the management will know how to navigate through all this policy for us. For instance, in this example, I do own stock in Tencent Holding and also NetEase, two of the largest gaming companies in China. I was surprised by the magnitude of control in the latest regulation, but not worried enough for me to start selling shares in both companies. The way I see it is that both companies have been operating in China for decades now, and they have a department full of people who only focus on how to deal with the government. Plus, some of the brightest and most ambitious people are working for these companies. So will they really decide to just give up and let their business stagnate or even decline after seeing such a new regulation? Or what is a more likely scenario is that will they see it as a challenge like so many other regulations before this and find a way to either grow the business within the new regulation or find new business opportunity to offset the decline in their business. So if these companies are already reacting and strategizing on how to manage through this new development, should we as investors also react and sell these stocks when others are panicking and maybe rotate and buy other stocks that are not affected at the moment? And when those new stocks come under the radar of the government control again, then should we repeat the process and panic sell and buy into another set of company, hoping that the government again will not intervene? To me, the hardest thing to do for a long-term investor is the ability to do absolutely nothing. But I found that we have a better chance of staying patient and not panicking whenever we see some bad news about a company by really taking the time to understand the business and also getting comfortable with it before investing. For example, sometimes I can spend years following a company before even thinking about investing. In addition, having a diversified portfolio where we are not dependent on the performance of just one stock will also allow us to stay invested and sleep more soundly at night. So what is the next industry do you think that the Chinese government will go after? Comment below on your prediction. Anyway, as always, till we meet again, my name is Stanley. Invest safely.